the film Dunkirk is released this week. After watching the movie last night, I can highly recommend that you go and see it. It definitely ranks up there as one of Christopher Nolan's best, and it cements his legacy as a versatile director who can really handle any subject matter. But what events inspired the movie? I decided to do a top 6 list of Dunkirk facts which give an insight into exactly how horrific the event was. Number 6. The smallest boat to take part was the Tamzine, a 14-foot open-top fishing boat. This tiny boat helped to save many lives that day and showcases the bravery of those who manned it. The boat now resides in the Imperial War Museum. Fact 5. The evacuation began on May 27th. Just 8,000 soldiers were rescued, but over the next 8 days, a total of 338,226 Allied soldiers were successfully brought across the English Channel while under full attack on all sides. Around 20,000 men were picked up from the Dunkirk Mole, which from the film you can see is a long stone wooden jetty at the mouth of the port. Soldiers had to wait patiently while under attack from enemy aircraft. The rest of the men were evacuated from the beaches, often having to wait hours in shoulder-deep water. Around 700 little ships took part, with civilians often at the helm, picking up soldiers from the shallows. They would then deliver the men to larger ships or take them all the way home. Some were amazed at the patience of the troops. Signaller Alfred Baldwin recalled, "You had the impression of people standing waiting for a bus. There was no pushing, no shoving, people just waited." Fact 4. The RAF fought hard to combat the bombs raining down on the men waiting on the beaches, flying a total of 3,500 sorties and losing 145 aircraft while the Luftwaffe lost 156. Fact 3. More than 200 ships and boats were lost during the evacuation, with many tragedies. On May 29th, the destroyer Wakeful was torpedoed and sank in 15 seconds with a loss of 600 lives. It is estimated that around 3,500 British men were killed at sea or on the beaches, and more than 1,000 Dunkirk citizens in air raids. Fact 2. There were obviously a lot of atrocities that went on during that time, so I'm going to go more into those now. On May 27th, 97 men from the Royal Norfolk Regiment ran out of ammunition and surrendered at the village of Le Paradis. They were shot in cold blood on orders of the SS. Around 40,000 British troops never made it back across the English Channel and became POWs. Many of those ended up having to endure forced marches into Germany and served as slave labour for the Nazis. But a few of those left behind, such as Bill Lacey from Devon, made dramatic escapes. He stole a French fishing boat and sailed it back to England on his own. Churchill hailed Dunkirk as a miracle, but also warned relieved Britons that the wars were not won by evacuations. He went on to give one of his most famous speeches to the House of Commons, in which he vowed that "We shall fight them on the beaches, we shall fight them on the landing grounds, we shall fight them in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight them in the hills, we shall never surrender." The phrase Dunkirk spirit has since become part of the language used to toast the people who pulled together in time of adversity. Fact 1. The rescue plan was called Operation Dynamo. It was named for the dynamo room that produced the electricity for the naval HQ underneath Dover Castle. The original plan of Operation Dynamo counted on only having 48 hours before the Germans moved in and stopped the retreat. They believed that they would be able to evacuate around 45,000 troops in that time frame. Luckily, on the third day, May 29th, the Germans halted their advance and allowed the operation to continue all the way till June 4th. Over 300,000 men were rescued from the beaches and the Dunkirk harbour. The initial blame for the German army's halt was placed solely on Adolf Hitler. It was revealed after the war that General Gerd von Rundstedt's diaries had ordered the halt instead. Worried about the swampy terrain effect on tanks and his supply line, Hitler agreed with this assessment. The inability for the German army to move on the survivors of Dunkirk is noted by many historians as one of the most critical mistakes Hitler made. So that's my top 6 Dunkirk facts. Have you seen the film? What did you think about it? Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you next time.
Because you had to be a big shot, did you?